Happy Monday. Welcome to another edition of 3 Point Stands presented by Mountain Dew. I am Meghan Triplett. That is CJ Hurt. He is filling in for Roser. He is out. And CJ, it's your first time on 3 Point Stands.
It is. Thank you guys for finally inviting me on the wonderful 3 Point Stance. It's been my dream since I was a little boy to be on 3 Point Stance.
Oh, okay.
Now I finally get to see you. Thank you.
Oh, okay. We're happy to have you. And since it's been your dream, I cannot wait to get your stances for this because we got so much to talk about from the weekend that was. And we start with the latest breaking news that came out just this morning. Derrick Henry reportedly is out. Season-ending injury with the foot injury that happened against the Colts on Sunday. CJ, I'm upset about this. This one hurts. This one really does hurt. So I'm gonna start with you. Is the Titans season over without Derrick Henry?
Over, no. But what are they now? No Derrick Henry. That means you're going to lean a lot more on Ryan Tannehill in that passing game. Luckily, you have A.J. Brown. You have Julio Jones. You have a complement of receivers who can go out there and go up and make plays for you. So thankfully, you have that. So if it's a season over, meaning, hey, we're not going to go deep into the playoffs, I think so. But so much of a playoff run is dependent on luck anyways. So not only do you have to be good, but you also have to be healthy. You have to be peaking at the right time. So there was no guarantee on a deep playoff run anyways for the Titans or anybody in the NFL. Now with the injury, I think they are still in the playoffs. I don't know if the season is over, but it does get a whole lot tougher for a Titans offense that leans so heavily on Derrick Henry. And on the other side of the ball, defensively, they don't got things figured out in that secondary still. Kevin Bayard's made a couple of really good plays against the Colts. He did have that big pass interference that led to the Colts getting a touchdown to force the game to go into overtime. But that secondary does not have things figured out. So what helps the Titans defense, what helps that secondary is, hey, we can eat up the clock. Time possession becomes a thing with the Titans. They can eat up the clock because you can keep feeding Derrick Henry and feeding Derrick Henry. Well, can you still do that? Are you going to be able to score upwards of 27, 28 points consistently because that defense isn't going to be able to stop anybody, especially in the passing game? And I'm not sure if they can do that.
Yeah, you said it like how I feel. When you have a defense that hasn't figured some things out yet and there were still some holes, like that's always been our thing. Like we've been able to kind of rely heavily on the offense. The defense has surprised us throughout this season so far. But the offense was always the one glue that we kind of had figured out. I know Julio's kind of come in and out due to injury, but Derrick Henry has been the heart of this offense. And personally, for me, the Titans fan, when you take the heart away, you're not alive anymore, CJ. You can't live without your heart. You can't live without your heart. So that's how I feel. I do think that they'll slip back to the playoffs, but as a Titans fan, to come off of like the 4 victories that we have had and like the Jaguars, and then you go from the Bills to the Chiefs to yesterday the Colts, it felt as if like that was it. Like you got on a high, you're feeling good, you're feeling confident, and to come into Monday morning where your heart could very well be out for the whole entire season, make the playoffs, we can still do that. But I think the expectations that we did have, especially after the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs was a moment that we thought this team could legit be, the best team in the AFC. That now changes a little bit. Can the next guy come up and maybe wow us and surprises? Yeah, but he won't be Derrick Henry. And that does put a lot of pressure on Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones. That puts a lot of pressure on the offense and the defense. Because now the defense cannot have those mistakes that we have seen. All right, we got to move on to the next things. We only got a couple more minutes of this. So let's now talk about college football, okay? College football, hey, the first college football rankings will come out on Tuesday. CJ, what do you think the first one will look like?
In some order, it will be Georgia, Cincinnati, Alabama, and pick between Oklahoma, Ohio State, Oregon, maybe Michigan State in there for now because Oklahoma's undefeated. I'll say Oklahoma. Not my personal top 4, but I think it'll go Georgia, then Oklahoma, then Cincinnati, then what did I say? Who did I say before?
Alabama.
Then Alabama. I guess Alabama comes in at 4. That's what I think happens. Or maybe Cincinnati comes in at 4. Alabama's at 3. Outside of that, man, it's going to be interesting to see where it ends up. I don't pay the first rankings any attention. That's just something to get us mad and frustrated and angry and talking about it. It's the last rankings that matter. But I think those will be your top 4.
Mm-hmm. The first one sometimes doesn't matter, but I think the first one always gives you a sense of what the college football playoff are thinking about and what they're looking at, especially when it comes to the order of that top 4. I'm with you. I think those are the 4 teams we choose. I think Oklahoma has to be number 4. Alabama could be 3. Oklahoma could be 3 and 4. That could flip flop. But Cincinnati, I think you have to start at number 2 and Georgia be your number 1 team. But how they place them will tell us how they're going to view Cincinnati, how they're going to view Alabama's loss, and how they're going to view Oklahoma. So I think that's why that first one really does matter a lot. But those 4 have to be the team. I think Michigan State can be, on the outside looking in 5 and 6. And I don't know what you put in 6. Ohio State, I still can't get over the Ohio State-Oregon loss. But I think when you look at all the other teams, Ohio State probably is going to be 5 and 6. And those 2 teams looking outside of it. But we'll see on Tuesday. And tonight, the Grizzlies are in action. They're taking on the Denver Nuggets, not just once this week, but twice this week. And when you look at what the Grizzlies have done, coming off of Saturday night's loss against the Miami Heat, where it was just very, very one-sided, with the Miami Heat looking like they were on fire at moments. Tonight, CJ, what is your stance on what needs to change and could be that X factor for the Grizzlies to get a victory over the Denver Nuggets?
You got, Mike Wallace brought it up on Rise and Grind. You got to value the ball more and take care of your possessions. You can't turn the ball over at the rate that the Grizzlies have been turning it over and still expect to beat good teams, like really good teams. And the Denver Nuggets are a really good team. We saw them on Friday beat the hell out of Dallas and make Luka Doncic look regular. And they were able to force him to turn the ball over. I love the fit of Aaron Gordon in Denver right now. I know they don't have Jamal Murray, but if you're the Grizzlies, want to have a chance to win this, you got to take care of the ball.
Yeah, taking care of the ball, and I'm going to add in their defense, guarding that perimeter, because the Denver Nuggets also shoot the ball as well. We just saw the Miami Heat make 21 threes. You don't want that to happen again. I think defensively, that has been our bread and butter. That has been our heart for so many, for so many seasons and so many years. If you start there of making sure you're great on defense, I think that will affect the offense. We saw it last season when the defense, attributes to the offense. And I think if you take care of the ball, amp up your defense, get back to that kind of like that grit and that grind, the deflections, getting the pace going, scoring off of the deflections, that is what fuels this entire offense. And so we'll wait and see what happens, but it's going down tonight at 7:00 at FedEx Forum. If you want tickets, make sure you call 901-88-HOOP. I know fans are giving out the scheduled magnets. I love those things. Put it on your refrigerator, and we will see you later.